Hey everyone, this is Adam Smith, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about marketing and what you can do to help generate more business even when you can't be there. I've taken a few notes today and I want to just cover some things with you. These things are not necessarily new ideas, but if anything, what I want to accomplish in this video is just really help you realize how important these things can be for your business if you're not already using them. The number one point I would like to make in this entire video is that you do not need to be limited by the amount of time that you have if you set up your system. And you could say that all marketing accomplishes that for you, but some marketing generates leads, some just generates awareness. The ones that generate leads, I think, are incredibly valuable because if you just think about it, if you were only seeing 3 new customers per day, as a salesperson or like a real estate agent, or you were seeing 30 per day, which salesperson do you think would probably be more successful in the long run? Obviously, the 30 prospect person, because ultimately we know that sales is a numbers game, and the more at bats I have, even if I'm not great at what I do yet, the better chance I am going to have to sell. So, being able to generate leads when you're not there, actively prospecting or doing some of those sales related activities is incredibly valuable. Um, every new lead you get is basically another opportunity. So finding easy ways to generate those things on your behalf, and hopefully almost for free, anybody would want to do that. So the 3 things I love that I'm going to talk about are email sequences, posting videos on YouTube, and creating ClickFunnels using social media advertising. Your business, depending on sort of your role in the company, you may or may not have the luxury of doing some of these things. But if you can, I highly recommend them. So first one, email sequences. This is how I built my business back in 2004 when I was selling cars. We had set up basically a ClickFunnel, which is the third one I'll talk about, but ultimately what we did was we went into automotive enthusiast forums for Nissan, and we would go to like a Titan site or a 350Z site or an Altima site, and we would post our special, get a price quote from us. We have the best price anywhere, on those sites. Well, because it was national, and there's over 300 million Americans in the U.S., we would generate a couple hundred free leads a month through that site. And when they clicked on that, it'd go to our website. Website had a contact form. Contact form would shoot me an email. And then as they increased, I had to figure out how am I going to manage that. Today, we have a lot of tools at our disposal that we didn't have back then. But there's a lot of things out there that you can plug into your website and be basically a list building form. Typically, it works really well if you have a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is basically just something of value that someone would be willing to put their email address in your site for. This is where ebooks are popular. This is where, if you're like a graphic designer, you could offer templates. You could offer different brushes. You could offer a certain type of font that you created. There's mock-ups that people give away. So that's just on the graphic design side of things. On the business side of things, information is the thing that people are typically doing that for. Another thing that's age old is sign up for our promotions. We'll send you coupons. We'll send you 2-for-1 deals, that type of thing. Anything that adds value is a lead magnet, and it's a reason to put their email address in your contact form and start generating a lead. So having that on at least one page, but hopefully multiple pages throughout your site, and maybe with different calls to action, can be very beneficial in terms of generating more leads when you're not there. The next step of that would be to have a CRM that you like. I personally use HubSpot. I think they're a phenomenal company, and they have great tools, great education platforms. But more than that, their product is fantastic, and it allows you to set up sequences. So when a lead does hit your website, if you have a sequence set up, then the customer will be able to get an email from you at sort of predetermined intervals. It's template based, but it populates things like name and any other fields you want to put in. But the goal of that is to be able to send people a consistent number of emails over time with the goal of trying to gain a contact. If you're to try to do this manually, you'll run out of time. I started back in 2004 responding to every single email manually. I would like cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste, and pretty soon I realized like, man, I need an autoresponder. And we had a company, I think the name was iCar Magic back then, but ultimately that's really what they did for us is we built an autoresponder and said, you know, at 1 day they're going to get this, at 2 days they're going to get this, at 3 days they're going to get this, 5, 7, 14, 1 month, and then ongoing until they either bought something or maybe unsubscribed. But either way, that sequence was working for me. And then when they would respond back, I would work those contacts. So being able to get yourself a CRM will help you take the burden off of trying to respond to everything or do everything manually. The next one, videos on YouTube. This is an example of that, what I'm making right now, but the reason videos on YouTube are so powerful, and it's still, I'd say this last 12 months, like my eyes have just really been open to it a lot more. I've had an account for a long time, but I did like most people did and saw it as more of a consumer thing. Like I wanted to learn something for me, or I wanted to be entertained. And if you're on the marketing side of that, then you're the one producing that content for your audience. And so when you switch hats and you think about it like from a business point of view, the benefits of video are powerful. And I know I'm not alone in thinking that way, because if there were more people that understood how powerful this is, you'd see a whole lot more robust videos being made. Today, there's a good mix, but it's still limited. Like I spent a ton of time on YouTube, and I know that some industries are not fully going after it yet. Gary Vee, one of the reasons he's so popular is he does some of the best online content around video, maybe than anyone else. There's a couple other guys I really enjoy, but most people are not good at this yet. So it still presents this massive opportunity. The reason this is so important, though, is with all of the competition that's out there, attention is very difficult. There's advertising statistics around this, but we used to get bombarded with only 500 messages per day. Today, people get bombarded with like 5,000 to 10,000, but they can still only really pay attention to maybe up to 150 of those, and they're tuning everything else out. So the question becomes, if you're a business owner, how are you going to get attention? And the best way to get attention is to provide value. You'll see more often than not 2 big types of value being produced. One of them is educational value. So this is your explainer videos or your how to do something videos. This is technically an education video. The other side of that is the entertainment type of video, where it's funny, or maybe it's sports related or interest related. It could be music videos. But those two, there's a lot of stuff that's one or the other of those two things. The best one do both. If you can get a video that's truly educational, but the content's so good that it's also entertaining. And this is where some of that storytelling and documenting stuff that Gary Vee does is just brilliant. It's because it's reality TV, but it's also, he's dropping great pieces of information on how to be a great marketer in today's world. So videos that do both are powerful. Part of the reason they're so powerful is that they're just out there. Once you produce it, you don't have to repeat yourself. The video is out there. And if you can make it once, you could get 10,000 views. You could get 1 million views. If you try to say the thing 1 million times, you might not be able to. And so having this megaphone of information going out, and it could go out any day of the week, any moment of the day. You don't have to be there to say those things again, because your video is saying it for you. Incredibly powerful. So the next part of that, though, is consistency. So some of the best channels are producing content on a regular basis. This is where it gets hard for a lot of people. Some people will start off and they'll do a great job in the beginning producing a couple great videos, and then they'll fall off and then they'll neglect it. You can search for people that produce content and you'll see it in their posting dates. It's really interesting. But if you can stay on this consistently, every time you produce something new, it adds to your library. And some of the best people out there have well over 1,000 videos. Some people have over 3,000 videos on their channel. And there's some level of value there, or people wouldn't do it. They wouldn't watch it. Other than the consistency, making sure you have good headlines and good copy underneath that headline on your video page with links built into the copy is that's how you actually generate the lead. So the first part is like you can have the video and you can say, hey, you can connect with me this way or this way or this way. You can have links pop up in the video message. You can have even QR codes or Snapchat codes pop up as an image. But really one of the ways you convert the most is having links built into your copy, and it might be a free offer. It might just be information about your company. But some of the best ones also will include how to get a hold of them and follow them on social. They'll put those things in that copy on the video as well, or underneath the video, not on the video. So just a powerful platform, and it's so easy to do, and it's accessible to all of us. ClickFunnels through social ads. So Facebook today is still the king of that. Their integration with Instagram is incredibly powerful too. But being able to create a piece of content that is engaging, that people stop and they click on for more information, to take them to your website where you can work them through a sales process and ultimately generate a call to action, whether it's buying something or downloading something or subscribing or even just contacting the owner. Whatever that looks like, it's basically it's what they call a ClickFunnel. So at the very top level, this is where people get into debates about how to name this thing, but I still like the AIDA model. Some people have changed it to a 3-step process, but the AIDA model, the first level is attention. So if I produced a really catchy video with maybe some text overlays on the top of that, when they're scrolling their feed, it jumps out at them. And then if they stop, click on it for the sound, they listen to the video, they start to get some curiosity building. If they click through, that's that first layer down to, okay, now I'm interested. Now tell me more. So on your website, that's where you would have some sales copy, helping them understand, this is the type of problem that we solve and this is how we do it. If that copy is well written and there's other information on there that's really helpful for that, that's where you start to build desire. Like, man, I really want that, right? Once the customer wants what you're selling, that's where the calls to action come into play. And like I said, there's different ways to create a call to action. Amazon's platform basically is, buy this, add it to my wish list, those type of things. But most retailers have some level of that. If you're a service-oriented business, it might be contact me. It might be something like that. Either way, that's what they call that a funnel, because they're trying to get as many people in the top of that thing as possible. And then they know as they go through the steps on the website or a landing page to a website, however that looks for you, those different pieces are going to weed people out until they start producing results for you at the bottom. And some of the best organizations have the most lean, efficient, and successful ClickFunnels that you can create. So depending on what type of business you have, I would really recommend you looking into that. It worked for me back in 2004 before we even knew what to call it. I don't even know when that term was coined, but basically that's what we accomplished back then. It's how I built my sales career from being very, very average to well above average, is generating a whole lot more leads and then being able to convert those at a higher percent than I had previously to that. So email sequences, videos on YouTube, and ClickFunnels are powerful tools if you're a single person business, like a salesperson or a solopreneur. Even if you have a small team, you probably can't afford a marketing department. So having these work for you on your behalf can help you at a really low price start generating a whole lot more traffic than you would by doing everything in person. Also, unlike other forms of advertising like magazines, billboards, TV, these things have inherent in them a way to lead to a contact much more smoothly than something like an outdoor advertisement. So that's why these things are so powerful. If you're not using them, I highly recommend that you do. If you have questions about them or you want more information, feel free to email me. My email is adamsmithbranding@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can in this area. But if you could be that person that's used to getting 3 leads per day and get to 30, or let's say you're a bigger business than that, and you're used to just selling in your store, but now you're creating an online channel where people can buy products that you ship to. Either way, whatever your situation is, these are 3 of the most powerful tools that you can use today that cost next to nothing compared to other forms of advertising. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like this information, please subscribe to my channel. You can leave comments or questions below, and I'll try to answer those as fast as I can, or you can send me email directly at adamsmithbranding@gmail.com. Until then, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.